Welcome to a new Heroes of the Storm video, everybody. We have two different teams. Like in the last few videos that we uploaded, we had a closer look at Team Empire versus My Insanity, and the games were actually pretty exciting. But as you already said in the comments, you would like to see a few more games from the competitive scene that include different teams. So I have a new replay for you guys. We are going to, well, looking more at the US scene, whereas Empire and My Insanity are more located or EU based. So we're going to have a pretty close look at what exactly is going on in the US right now. And today's match is going to feature Glorious Gaming versus Symbiote Gaming, and both of those teams are definitely among the top 10 right now in the US. If you haven't heard just yet, there is currently also a website where you can sign up with your team and start scrimming against these teams. It's versafear.net. I'm actually going to include a link in the description if you want, because there's also a ranking up there that you can have a look at. The one thing that I have to point out about it is that right now it only exists for the US. I think that the European version is supposed to start in about a week or two, and then you will also find teams like My Insanity and also, of course, Team Empire up there. But right now the ranking only includes the US teams. But that being said, we are going to take a closer look at a Blackheart's Bay match. Blackheart's Bay, of course, a great map. You collect the doubloons, you turn them into Blackheart, and the ghost ship then starts to attack your opponent's structures. It's a map where comebacks are quite easy to happen, like one big team fight that you win, or one small period where you gain the map control. You can not only get the mercs, but you also get rewarded by the coins. You get one of your ghost ships, and then that level difference that you might have fallen into at this point is definitely going to get a bit smaller and gives you an edge of just coming back, closing that gap, and then being on par with the opponent's team again. But that being said, we're going to jump straight into the game on Blackheart's Bay between Glorious Gaming and Symbiote Gaming. Before we start the game itself, let's take once again a closer look at not only the lineups but also the hero combinations that are currently being run in this game. For ZP's team, Glorious Gaming, we have Diablo on ZP, we have Soma with the Uther, Supra is playing the Stitches, and Korthenluck, a name that you might recognize from the early StarCraft 2 days as well. He's playing on Falstad, bringing the DPS into the game, and Syracuse here with another DPS hero playing the Vala here. Going down to Team Symbiote Gaming, we have Arthalon on the Tychus, Soldier once again with one of those Bruisers Warriors that we have him just playing in nearly every game. He's on Sonya this time, stated in the past that he really likes also to play Stitches, but in this game it is actually Sonya that he's playing. For Dreadnought we have Arthurs, and for KO it's the Tacita, whereas Matt Timmy is supplying a bit of healing here with the Rhaegar. The bans in this game were Brightwing and also Kerrigan, so those are the two characters that the teams have eliminated before they started the match. And in terms of the the picks, actually, we started things off with Arthurs for Symbiote Gaming, and after that Diablo and Uther for ZP. We had Sonya Tychus for Symbiote Gaming, whereas Glorious Gaming countered then with a Vala Falstad combination for the DPS, and the last two picks for Symbiote Gaming were Tacita and Rhaegar, whereas we had Stitches going on for Glorious Gaming. So in terms of the composition that you see here, the one thing that especially Symbiote Gaming that we see down here was trying to test out a bit was going for the Rhaegar ultimate, where they just used the Bloodlust and they wanted to combine that with the ultimate on a Tacita and Tychus, namely the Archon and also the Odin form. So trying to just go into the team fight, force it, get the Bloodlust in there, and then with the Bloodlust try to run those two forms and really dish out the damage, push the team back, get your objective, take down a form A, B, go straight for the core, or just wipe the opponent's team. On the other hand, we have for ZP's team with Diablo a very, very heavy tank. The one problem that we have with Diablo a lot of times is that in terms of damage output, he's not really on top of the list, but he's an absolutely amazing tank. He can kill minions and collect souls, and that will give him a huge HP boost up to where it's like totally crazy to actually attack him in a fight, where you just are best advised to completely ignore him and focus on the rest of the heroes and just try to just deal with him later on. The problem with that is, of course, that he has not only his charge up where he can stun you, but he has the slam ability, overpower, where he just repositions you, and he can basically bring you right into the middle of his own team, and that can be very, very annoying. So Diablo is definitely always a bit of a bitch to deal with, whereas we have with the rest of the composition a pretty like normal thing. We have like double high DPS heroes here with the Falstad and the Vala, and of course back behind that, the Uther. Not only with the stun, but also with the healing. The Stitches, also very good for the relocating. So you can really see that this is more a combination that is very designed to just pick out 1 or 2 heroes at the beginning of a fight and then make it immediately a 4 versus 5. And that can very well work. If you get a good Stitches hook off, for example, you get a good Gorge off, and you run back. If you choose to take sprint, you use the Diablo, just charge in, stun, slam, and you can even deliver those heroes to Stitches, who could then go for a Gorge, depending, of course, on the team situation that we have there. So this is kind of what the teams are currently running with. Blackheart's Bay, I already talked a bit about it. If you're newer to heroes, let me just talk about it just very quickly once again. The map is all about Blackheart, a pirate in the middle of the map, and chests spawning. And those chests, when you attack them, they give you coins. The same is also true for the mercenary camps. In comparison to other maps, you have actually a coin reward every time you take down a mercenary camp as well. If you then collect those and turn them in the middle of the map at Blackheart at certain intervals, you get a ghost ship. The first one drops at 10 coins, the second one is at 12, 14, 16 and so on. And that ghost ship then attacks with 12 cannonballs the opponent's structures. And like that you can of course easily drop a 4 or just a wall with a few towers that will give you experience points, and so you can either just close the gap when your opponent is ahead of you or try to solidify an advantage for yourself. We are going to take a closer look at talents later on at around level 10, but let's just start things up here and see what's going on the map. Down here to the bottom left we have of course as the blue team, Team Glorious Gaming, and to the right side it is indeed Symbiote Gaming with Athlon and actually 4 of the heroes already aiming straight for that watchtower. It's still in the current meta that this watchtower is very, very important because it gives you very good control of the top lane and also the mid lane. 50 seconds into the match we have the first chest spawning here, and also down, sorry, that's Blackheart of course, but down here is the second chest. But as you can see we have already Athlon on the Tigers going down, so it's very unlikely that we are going to see a huge commitment by the team for the watchtower. They're probably just going to try and have a quick look there. A little bit of a mistake there by Soldier already, pressing the Z button and demounting. Has to wait for a few seconds before he can go up again. All the way to the top here we have Supra already looking for a hook, Diablo looking for a charge, and whoa! Hooking to the left, Supra actually with a bit of a mistake there. That happens very easily. When you click and you want to go a hook and you hook to the bottom right, you might hit that minimap there and suddenly go for minimap hook to the top left or bottom left instead of the location that you really wanted to go for. Can be very annoying. Both teams already getting in position now that experience is on the line. Falster jumps down trying to soak up the experience at bottom against Athlon, who goes in straight away trying to dish out some DPS. Really nice battle between the 2 DPS heroes here. All the way to the top on the other hand, the battle for the watchtower as shown once again, and you can really see both teams trying to get in position. Down here at the bottom, Cawthon Luck against Athlon once again. The Tychus jumps in and with the grenade pushes him out and takes him down. Athlon with the first blood can of course now take the chest as well, but has to be careful since there could be another hero just coming down and picking off. Dreadnought in the middle, apparently lucky with the pick, but gets slammed into the tower range, and suddenly here comes the storm. Supra on the Stitches goes down, and Dreadnought survives just barely. Arthur's a great hero with a lot of sustain. We have up to 3 skills that can actually give you life, and he's really nice to just have him at the front line. Not only does he slow down the opponent's team, he dishes out the damage, he has several immobilizers, and then of course with his death coil he can either heal himself, dish out some damage, and a very versatile hero and very difficult to deal with if played correctly. Cawthon Luck here trying to chase down Athlon, not really working well for him so far, so the coins at this point are on Team Symbiote Gaming. They have a really good position with that, but need of course to turn in, and that takes some time, and that's usually when we see the opponent's team trying to contest that move. The Rhaegar up to the top, picking up Healing Totem, and we have him with a Farsight here, so Healing Totem, one of those things that he can supply in a team fight, as you might know from also Dota. That's one of those skills that he can just easily counter by attacking it, but in a team fight that is just so fast paced, it's very, very difficult to actually pull it off. So both teams just have a heartbeat on each map, trying to soak up that experience and making sure that they don't fall behind. Level 10 is what you're aiming for. You want to have that level 10 first to maybe force a team fight with your ultimates where your opponent just can't rely on them just yet. Getting the Knights this early on, a great move here. You can always just move in and take those, and Sonya is a great hero to just help out with that. But we have actually Diablo moving in down here at the bottom. Stitches with a hook attempt against the Arthurs. Dreadnought moving back, surviving for now, and Soldier, he doesn't care at all. Like, he's still attacking those mercenaries, but now with Cawthon Luck jumping in on the false set, Soldier finally has to move back as well. But he is a very resilient here, just stands in the middle of the fight and doesn't care at all. Suddenly he's back though, and with an ancient spear grabs himself onto Diablo. Diablo pushes back a few of the heroes, but he's in trouble, goes down here, but he takes Matt Timmy with him. The Rhaegar down, the coins on the ground, and 10 already on Arthalon, pushing back Tim Glorious Gaming, whereas Khaldor being healed by the Uther is trying to just take down KO, not really able to make that work, but yeah, the death of Diablo definitely forcing them back. Diablo at this point hasn't gathered too many of those souls. You need to take down minions for that, but later in the game he gets a very beefy tank that is so difficult to deal with. Very complicated to really take him down if he's played correctly and always just applies the front line tank to that. So on the top of the map now we have Soma trying to soak up the experience on top lane. The Rhaegar still in position. In the middle, KO is holding the line against Glorious Gaming, but he needs to be super careful with the Stitches and a Diablo present. Arthalon is sneaking in the drop with the coins, and there we go. The ship once again here for Team Symbiote Gaming, and there is nothing that ZP and Supra can do about it just now. But they're trying to find out where exactly Arthalon is, and they find him, and there comes the slam, slams him down with the overpower. Stitches goes in with his own slam as well, trying of course to land a hook if possible, but they have to wait for Khaldor, they have to wait for the DPS, doesn't even bother sending a hook in here, knows exactly that this won't help him at all. Down here the knights are still up, that's a big point to contest, you want to get those knights as fast as possible. Once more the overpower pushes him back, Arthalon in trouble, and he goes down as Khaldor lands his skills. KO is moving in, but just a bit too late to drop the shield here. Soldier once again with an ancient spear, and uses of course, oh, there comes another body slam, pushing Dreadnought back. Very well done. Seismic slam by Soldier. Once again, he drops the Diablo for the second time, but Arthur dies too, drops his coins, and that's the risk that you just run if you take those fights and you have coins that you are going to lose them. Supply them for the opponent's team, and a death in this game can really be very tricky. Kills so far, 3 for Glorious Gaming, 5 for Symbiote Gaming. We have in the middle of the map still the tag team, the double team here with Arthalon and Matt Timmy, and Timmy of course starting to orientate himself more towards that top line, wants to make sure that he soaks up the experience there, since they're currently behind one level. Level 9 for Glorious Gaming, and once they hit the 10, they're gonna try to force a team fight here. Once more we have Supra moving in with the slam, a great ability. You have several ways how to build Stitches, and the slam build is one of them. We might see him with a fishhook later on after all though. The chest spawning again, it looks like a free chest at the bottom for Team Symbiote Gaming. All the way at the top we see a similar picture with Arthalon going straight for the coins, gets all of them. Down here at the bottom it's Dreadnought who soaks them up. Very well done, but Khaldor is trying to contest that, and Dreadnought is out of position here suddenly, surrounded by 4 opponents. He's getting stunned, he's getting dropped, and there's no chance for him to survive this. 5 coins dropped for him, walked into the wrong direction here, trying to escape, but just running into his own demise. Khaldor stopping his escape and just taking him on with the stuns supplied by Uther, leaving him no chance to move back. So for now we have a lot of coins here for Team Glorious Gaming that they need to turn in, and they already did so the ghost ship is doing its work in the middle line, trying to drop those towers, and we see that all of the heroes are already in there. Syracuse on the Vala is also just trying to supply some more damage. Both teams are on level 10 right now, and the fights are about to start. Once again the ship starting to attack the fort, and that is where Glorious Gaming would love to push in. Dropping one of those forts gives you so much experience, but we have the level 10 also now for Team Symbiote Gaming, and they want to go for it as well. As we have the team moving back, we're actually going to take a quick look at the talents here. Unfortunately, in the current replay workaround feature, we don't have the opportunity to do that while the game is still running, so let's have a quick look at what exactly is going on here. First of all, of course, taking a closer look at the ultimates that we are running in this game, at the heroic abilities. Apocalypse is being used for Diablo here, not going for his Fire Breath. Divine Storm, as usual, on the Uther to just get that stun against the opponent's team. We have Putrid Bile here for Stitches, not going for Gorge in this particular game. Pretty interesting move, since we usually see the Gorge ability being used by a Stitches. You either rely on sprint, dashing in, just gorging one of those heroes, moving back and trying to just drop him in the middle of your own team, or you go for the hook, the gorge, and then try to do the same thing. For Falstad, it's not really a surprise here to see Shock and Awe. I cannot remember when I have the last time seen a Falstad not running with that heroic ability. It's just the best thing to do, and you go for that one more combo. We have the Gathering Power here. You want to later on, of course, also get Overpower and the other abilities that will supply you a little bit more damage on the Shock and Awe. You try to run with that combination and just get it off in a big team fight, and it does just so much damage. For Vala, we have the Strafe ability. We see the Rain of Vengeance a little bit more often these days. It depends a lot on what the opponent's teams runs, and if you are in a situation where you say like, okay, I'm feeling very confident getting the strafe off and not getting stunned during it. So we have strafe here for Syracuse, a huge DPS dealer, whereas we see for Arthalon on the Tychus, as already mentioned earlier, the Odin, that's what they're trying to go for, Odin, and here the Archon form for the Tacita to just run that with the Bloodlust that we see taken here by Rhaegar. Bloodlust actually an ability where a lot of people say like, okay, we don't really know which ultimate to get here. Is it really Bloodlust? Do we want to go for the ancestral healing? There's a lot of discussion about it, what's actually better. Bloodlust, if you so want, has an opportunity to fail if the opponent team's moves back, depends on where exactly you use it, where at least ancestral healing gives you basically another hero. Like you can kind of revive a hero if you're fast on it. Before he dies, you use it to heal up the hero to full HP, and that could mean 4,000 hit points that he suddenly has again, or even more later on, and you need to do that damage with the Bloodlust to really make up for it and make Bloodlust the better spell here. The leap on Soldier Sonya, also something that we just see like all the time. You just try to jump in to a clustered up team composition and stun them, and then of course you just go ham with your Seismic Slam, so you're trying to aim for. With Arthas we have the Army of the Dead, summons a couple of ghouls, and you can also then devour those ghouls, sacrifice them, and get health for that, so it gives you even more sustain than in the fights themselves. Great ability to pick up. One thing that is maybe noteworthy as well is that we not only have the healing ward or the healing totem on the Rhaegar, but we have the same thing also on the Tacita. So there's a lot of healing potential that we currently see coming from Symbiote Gaming with the added shield that we have for Tacita. Seismic Slam is what we see for Sonya here, focusing mainly on that. With Arthalon we have a lot of sustain thanks to the Vampiric Assault and also to the first aid talent picked up. Vala is going a pure DPS, as you can see here, with the Searing Arrow and everything else, and I think most of the other heroes we already talked about. Let's focus real quickly on ZP. I already mentioned that we're having the Soul Feast for him, and that we're having just him trying to be as tanky as possible, and that already includes the level 4 talent, Amplify Healing. So this guy is just so difficult to take down. Like, he's getting healed the entire time, he has so many hit points, nearly impossible to take on. 5 kills for each team right now, level 11 for Glorious Gaming against levels 10 for Symbiote Gaming. And if you look at the DPS that has been dished out so far, we have Vala actually a little bit on the lower side of Falstad. Falstad now with ultimate, and Vala also with them, they will have a bit of a contest running, but Falstad quite often actually gets the better hand of that. We have Stitches still with a lot of DPS done as well. Uther with the healing being at 4,000. Stitches actually here at 3,000 as well with abilities that he can run. Down at the bottom we have currently 6,800 for Tacita, thanks to the Storm, and Tychus of course as the single target DPS with 6,300. Arthur's doing his job here with the blasting howls, whereas we see for the Rhaegar now the healing already at 4,400. So kind of what you would expect at this particular point in time. We have both teams already with one ghost ship getting that off. We have at the same time here still coins for both teams, roughly the same amount, actually exactly the same amount now looking at it, maybe a little bit more centralized on Arthalon, on Symbiote Gaming, but that's about it. So let's just jump back into the game and see what the teams are going to do now with the heroic abilities that so far haven't really come into play just yet. So as mentioned before, we have once again the watchtower in the middle being contested here. We see Soma moving in. The teams are now just starting to move into that mid-game phase where you want to five man a lot more. You want to have those team fights. Getting caught out of position usually results in team moving. Oh, they know that there is currently... Yep, there they go. They're waiting for the knights to be gone. Great timing here for Supra. And Dreadnought is being dropped or not. Soldier jumping in. Dreadnought not surviving. The Arthas is down. And wow, the body slam here with the overpower on Soldier. The Sonya is dead as well, and the Bloodlust composition not working out this time. We have Tychus in the Odin form and Archon on Tacita, but a bit too late. Two of their main heroes already dropped. Great moves that we saw coming from Glorious Gaming. They knew they were taking those knights. They were hoping for that, and they were just waiting a little bit with the Stitches to see when exactly all the knights were gone. That's the risk that you run. If you get that hook in too early, then the problem that you have is you might just hook one of the knights and then you don't get a kill at all. But a great move by Supra, having the patience to wait for it, hooking the Arthas in, getting him immediately, and then we have Soldier jumping over the hedges here, trying to just save his ally, but that didn't work out for him. In the end, he dies as well, and with both of the warriors already gone, the team has no other chance but to move back. They were thinking about taking the fight, dropping the Bloodlust, going for the Tychus and the also Tassadar heroic ability, but with Odin and Archon alone, they're not able to drop a 5-man team. So they have to move back, and once again we have ZP moving in, going for the overpower, slamming him. Soldier is trying to make good use of his Seismic Slam. Soma is moving back on the Uther. Is he really going to survive? It looks like it. Arthas drops once more, and we have Glorious Gaming with 9 kills to 5, pushing back Symbiote Gaming here. ZP especially in the middle. He has already 5,500 hit points here. Super difficult to deal with, like a massive tank for him, and the Knights been taken out. They have been claimed by Team Symbiote Gaming early on. So Glorious Gaming now on the move once again. 5 heroes up against 3. That could mean a dead 40. If they destroy this one, they would take an even bigger lead. It's level 13 against level 12, level 14 against level 12. Really in a great position now to take that fort, and as you can see, the team on the red side is not even trying to contest it. At the top we have Experience being soaked up by Arthas and KO. They need to drop the Knights here as well. They were starting to push in pretty hard, and the entire team is now converging towards the top half, and that could lead us into a Golem being taken if they really want to risk it, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Going for the Golem here. 9 coins by the way on Arthalon, and we have another 7 on Matt, Timmy, and Rhaegar. So they're trying to drop the Golem, and that helps Team Glorious Gaming with a free turn-in. They're turning in the coins here for Blackheart. They want to get another ghost ship, and at this point there's no way for Symbiote Gaming to contest that. They see it with the Oracle on the Tassadar, but they can't do anything about it, and of course it supplies them also the vision of safety, so they know, well, we are not afraid of being being creep-checked here. That's just not gonna happen. But they can push in that wall right now. The entire team of Glorious Gaming is starting to converge to the top. They need to take it. They're looking for maybe another hook, maybe for another slam with ZP, and he's moving in. A great ultimate by Falstad. Hitting 2, hitting 3. Here comes Bloodlust. Bloodlust being used, and the Odin form, but Diablo using his ultimate as well, but we have the entire team being pushed back. Falstad already down, Glorious Gaming losing the Uther. Suddenly they are down 3 heroes as Diablo dies as well. Is kicking it, pushing daisies from now on, and that combination worked out so well for Symbiote Gaming. The Bloodlust used with Odin and Archon pushes back the team, takes down 3 heroes, and then drops the fort as well. Suddenly it's level 15 against level 15 with 8 to 9 kills. A very nice combination, a very nice combo that we saw there, and they're just going straight for the middle fort as well, dropping 2 in a row. Great synergy that we had here between the heroic abilities and the rest of the spells. So now suddenly it's also a free turn-in that they get, as the entire team of Glorious Gaming is just trying first of all to defend, and then second of all waiting for the rest of the teammates to revive. So Arthalon is gonna get his his coin turn-in too, and we have another ghost ship now for Team Symbiote Gaming. A great back and forth game so far. At first it was really that great hook that we saw coming from Supra when the Knights were taken by Symbiote Gaming that supplied them with a few kills here, and of course also Diablo then going straight at Soldier as he was sleeping over the edge. But then in that last fight, really that combination that Symbiote Gaming was trying to test out in this game, completely unfolding its full strength with the Tychus ultimate, with the Tassadar ultimate, and then also the Bloodlust moving in. But at this point, it's now with the additional mercenaries, time for Glorious Gaming to push once again. They're trying to move in here. We have 16 versus 16, a very important level. On 16 you get one of your strongest talents that you can use in the game, and that is a massive advantage that you have if you get that early. But as it happens, we have both of them on 16 at the same time, so no team could really get any advantage of having a level earlier or not. We have a bit of a position here for Symbiote Gaming, just waiting for the turn-in so that they can move in and take them down, but they don't really see this move now. They just move back a few seconds, and there comes the Oracle. He's getting the vision, and do we have the we don't have the hook. Do we have ZP moving in with maybe an overpower? Doesn't really look like it. There comes the hook, but it misses. ZP still waiting for it, but Soldier is zoning him out. Soldier a little bit too far off, and is immediately body slam, jumps in, doesn't hit anything. Oh my god, horrible ultimate here by Soldier, very unfortunate for him. Falstad with the Corthan Lock trying to get his own ultimate off, a huge amount of DPS. Soldier is down, it's a 4 versus 5, but Stitches Supra is in trouble. Stitches with a heal, getting healed here once again by the Uther, and they're moving back, trying to escape the Archon form and the Tychus in his Odin form. Once they've waited those out, they could just bounce in once again, just pounce on the opponent's team and trying to take them. What is Dreadnought doing all the way over there? Oh my god, the Howling Blast hits, but he's so far out of position and gets dropped in an instant. The turn-in is completed though for Symbiote Gaming. They get the ghost ship, but they're 2 heroes short now, and we have Glorious Gaming starting to move in. Very unfortunate in the last fight for Soldier. He was trying to get the leap off, and it looked really good for a second, but then all of Glorious Gaming team members just move out of the way, and he didn't hit anything at all and found himself in a pretty awkward position, not because he just hit the ground running, but at the same time also he was straight in 5 opponents and dropped within seconds. So very well done here, very nice positioning that we saw for Glorious Gaming. We have another mercenary camp, by the way, just moving up now for Symbiote Gaming. Having those at the top helps them a lot. All the way down at the bottom we currently see the double golems going for it, and all that pressure allows Glorious Gaming to get the knights down here at the bottom, so very nice position for them. If you have an upper hand at one point in the game, you really want to go for those mercenary camps. It gives you a feel of map control, you force your opponents to defend, that makes it possible for you to just converge to other positions, for example chests, for example Blackheart himself in the middle of the map to turn in. So all these things, something that need to be considered. It's very, very tactically how we actually approach this. 11 kills against 8, level 17 against level 17. Pretty close game that we see by the two of them. So the US scene with some very nice play that we've seen so far. ZP might not be the main damage dealer in the team, but he certainly supplies a lot with his disabling abilities and also the repositioning thanks to the overpower. Once again, it's the chests already taken at the bottom by Symbiote Gaming. Now Glorious Gaming moving in at the top chest. Here comes Diablo going for the overpower once again, slamming him, but once more Tassadar and Tychus going straight for their ultimates, and also we see more the Bloodlust and the first hero, not down just yet, but there comes Diablo again, just pushing the Dreadnought back, pushing Dreadnought on the Arthur's back, sorry, making sure that he doesn't get the Howling Blast off. And this time Symbiote Gaming not able to really kill anything with that form, but they pushed back the team of ZP, and therefore they get the coins here, so they have a nice coin lead for now. But you can really see how that combination works out very well for Symbiote Gaming so far. The Bloodlust with Odin and Archon working very, very well, but once that's waited out, you can just jump in again, and that's exactly what ZP with this team is currently doing, going for Dreadnought once more. Here comes the Howling Blast against the Stitches, doesn't get anything off here, gets actually just dragged in. We have Soldier trying to look for an opportunity to maybe land another Ancient Spear, but with the storms from KO, they're not going for it. Oh my god, the hook by Supra! Holy mother of hooks! Gets him off in the last second. Tassadar drops. Soldier being pushed back as well is being dropped. 8 coins now up for the taking, and they are gathered up by Team Glorious, or by Glorious Gaming, and yep, that once again a very nice move here by Supra. That's the second good hook that he gets off in this game, and that gives them 2 wins. It's always Soldier that just tries to jump in and help his teammates out. He's the only one who can really do that, who can't just cross the screen this fast and then also supply the stun, but he gets dropped way too fast, and the rest of the team, they can't react here. They also don't have this much healing power. They have the shield of the Tassadar, but once he's gone, they're in trouble. They do not have an Uther here. They do not have a Brightwing. Brightwing was banned. They are relying on the Rhaegar, and Rhaegar does not have his ancestral healing. He has the Bloodlust, so in terms of healing power, he doesn't have his full range of skills that he can rely upon. We have, of course, the 2 totems, the 2 healing wards, so if you so want, that they could use, but by now it's also, of course, a matter of just like trying to get those up and really getting the position in the team fight. The Golem here pushing in, and that allows Glorious Gaming once more to just move into the middle of the map and turn in their own set of coins, which they're doing right now. We have level 18 versus level 18. The next big level is going to be the 20, when we're going to see the additional, just like either the talent that makes you very mobile. We could, for example, see a blink on the Stitches. We have the blink ability on the Vala, which gives you a bit more maneuverability and also escape mechanisms. But you can also just strengthen your heroic ability. Oh, Rhaegar being picked off here, and he had quite a few coins too. So now suddenly it's time for Glorious Gaming to just turn in again with Diablo trying to take down those siege golems first. So they really have the map control at this point. At level 19 against level 18 gives them another edge. They could hit the 20 early and then try to hit the team fight here, but we have the chests also spawning in the middle of the map, and this is starting to look very grim for Soldier and his team, because at this point they're not only behind in levels, they have lost that huge amount of coins that they had gathered up before, and we have a lot of coins now on Team Glorious Game, with 8 already on the Vala, Vala getting another 5, the top chest also taken by the team, 10 alone on the Uther. Down here we still have even more coins, with 9 on Supra, and he needs to be careful. If he's getting dropped here, that would be a big problem. We're trying to push in a bit with those siege golems, but Supra is not allowed to die here, and they do not have the Uther with them. He's looking for another hook, apparently. That would be a big one too. But yeah, here comes the heal by the Uther, and they are moving back into the middle of the map. Now that the attack with the ghost ship is over, they can turn in again, and that could well drop another fort, and if they hit the 20, that would be absolutely amazing. But here comes Team Symbiote Gaming. They want to contest this. The Howling Blast doesn't hit anything. Here comes the first hit by Falstad, and the middle of the map taken out. Of course, Glorious Gaming knows that all of those heroic abilities are up once again for Team Symbiote Gaming, and they will have to deal with the Bloodlust and the Odin and Archon form in the next battle. So they really want to pick their, they really want to pick the location here. And we have the Knights dropped by Team Symbiote Gaming. That gives them a bit of pushing power on the bottom lane, whereas all the way at the top we have not only a bit of a defense and a heartbeat on the top map, but we also have the opportunity then to take additional camps, and there they are already. The tiny ones here, very great, just pick up 2 coins, and of course another health globe that helps you with just so many of the abilities that we see by heroes being taken, Uther being one of them. So if you pick up 3 health globes, it supplies you with a bit more mana generation, and once you have a lot of mana on the Uther, you can just spam your abilities. We can see here also Rewind being used by him. That's a talent that just takes 10 seconds off all of your skills cooldowns, and that's pretty amazing if you have the mana pool to really support it. So once again, Knights being taken here. This time not a great hook by Supra, as we saw the last time. They weren't in position just fast enough. Both teams starting to converge towards the Black Hat in the middle. We have a lot of coins on both of them, and they really want to turn in right now and want to get that fight. Oh, Stitches a bit caught out of guard here, and we have the Howling Blast maybe going in. No, not just yet. Stitches moving back. Yes, sprint being used, moves back immediately. No harm, no foul, no hero dropped in that last encounter, but Stitches really has to be careful. Supra was out of position there for a second. In the end, he gets away with the sprint ability, but that was a close call after all. A good Howling Blast, maybe just Soldier going in with an Ancient Spear, and he is done for. So now it's time for Symbiote Gaming to just move in, take those Knights. It's 20 versus 19 already, but as you can see, ZP's team doesn't really want to fight here. Glorious Gaming, they are a little bit weary. They don't really, they want to have that pick-off. They want to have that pick-off that I talked about earlier, and that's the strategy that they've been running successfully the entire game, getting one hero out of the picture and then fighting the rest of the team. They've done it several times right now. They don't want to face that composition that we see here from a Team Symbiote Gaming, and there it is again. There we have it. Here comes the Bloodlust. Here comes the Odin form. Where's the Archon? Archon moving in just a second. Level 19 and 20, and Symbiote Gaming isn't afraid of engaging. They're moving in. They're dropping Falstad immediately. The chain stun here by the Uther, supplying a bit of damage at the beginning, but Dreadnought is moving back on the Arthurs, not being dropped here. ZP suddenly in trouble. He has so many hit points, more than 7,000 at this point. 8,000 hit points, but he dies regardless. 2 heroes down. Vala killed as well. That's the 4th hero to actually die. Oh my god. Ooh, Diablo is already back thanks to his heroic ability. Moves in, tries to drop Mad Timmy. No chance of that happening. ZP trying to run away, but what a stomp there in the last fight by Team Symbiote Gaming. That Bloodlust together with Odin and Archer doing so much damage, and they are trying to core it now. They're trying to core it. Here comes a hook by Stitches, only hitting a knight. That's just not enough. The DPS against the core. They're completely ignoring the Diablo here. They're just moving in. Symbiote Gaming wants to win this right now. 16 kills against 14, and it looks like they are able to pull that off. The death time is just way too high. Another 30 seconds for the team to revive, and there's the GG. 26 coins on KO. Picked all of them up in the last fight, and the game already won by Symbiote Gaming. Great last fight that we saw there by the team. And while we look at the talents, just the one thing to really note there is that the strategy that we saw for Symbiote Gaming really worked out. They were able to get those combinations with Odin, Archon, and the Bloodlust off several times in the battle, and that was absolutely amazing for them. As you can see, they have also a lot of sustain here, with Stone Skin being picked up by 3 heroes, Tychus, Sonya, and Arthurs. So a lot of survivability here for them, whereas we see with the Lightning Born another talent for Rhaegar to help his allies out a little bit. In the end, even Storm Shield being taken so that he can help his teammates survive. But very, very great fight that we saw there by them. And the last battle, they went in without their 20s. They just relied on the 19 there, said like, okay, we have the composition. It is so powerful. If we face the fight at the core, they can't move back. They cannot move back. They can't escape and just wait it out. They have to fight us. And if they have to fight us with those abilities up, then they don't stand a chance here. On the other hand, for ZP's team, for Glorious Gaming, at the beginning especially, they had an absolutely amazing hook there by Supra. Actually twice already. And that was what they were looking for. The hooks from the Stitches, and also, of course, the body slam from Diablo. The stuns pushing the heroes back, trying to get them into a good position so that they can take them. And that's something that they pulled off several times, which gave them a lead in the game. They did this very well. As you can see here, Diablo not going with the slam build at all. Instead, he was relying on sprint. He was relying on the fish hook here, and we had him with a slow as well. So very good moves here from Diablo in the game. Supra just caught out once out of position, and that didn't really do anything since he could move back. The Uther with the rewind, we see the same on the fall stat, and that's exactly the composition that you see basically every fall stat run these days. If you're a new player to fall stat, you might as well copy this build. We have here Gathering Power, which gives you a bit more ability power. We have Shock and Awe as the ultimate, also being taken as 20, and then the rewind together with the overdrive, so that you get your skills off, that you get your hammering off, that you get the ability in there, and that's a huge amount of damage that you can drop with this. So great game that we saw there. Let's have a bit of a look at the stats in terms of damage, and also of course what we see then siege damage and healing. The healing award of the game taken by the Rhaegar here after all with 53,000, even surpassing Uther, and that's actually quite impressive considering that he didn't pick up ancestral healing. So a very good job by the Rhaegar. If we're looking on the damage side, on the other hand, we have the victor of the game here with actually with Tassadar with his storms. Nope, sorry, it is the Tigers indeed. Tigers and Vala and Tassadar very close. 48 and 47,000 for all three of them. In regards to the damage on the Diablo, we still have a solid 20, but as mentioned earlier, his role is not really being a DPS. He is going in as the tank, and he's trying to just stun and reposition the opponent's team, and that's a job that he did very well. At the end, he had 8,000 hit points, which is just absolutely insane. So difficult to drop, but the team was able to pull that off after all. So a great match that we saw there, in very back and forth as well. In the end, it is Team Symbiote Gaming that wins the fight, thanks to the composition with Archon, Odin and Bloodlust, and ZP's team doing a very good job here. Glorious Gaming with a great match, but in the end just that one fight, and well, Symbiote Gaming being able to pick the location of the fight, that really ruined their day there. So I hope that you enjoyed the match. If you liked the game, and if you liked the commentary, leave me a comment on YouTube, and of course hit that thumbs up as well. Let me know how you like the current compromise between running the game the entire time and casting it, and then those few breaks that we have where we try to go over the talents. If you like that, would you like to see the talents even more than that? Would you like to see it a little bit less? Just give me a little bit of feedback of what exactly would it like in the future, so we can go for it. There's also an invitational that is starting in just a few days, and this is something that I'm going to cast completely. You can expect the videos being up on YouTube too, so you can look forward to that if you're a Heroes of the Storm fan. I say thank you for tuning in today, and I'm going to see you guys next time with another Heroes of the Storm video. So have a good day, and bye bye.